Our next story begins with a question. What killed Ariel Ronis, the Israeli civil servant who committed suicide this weekend, was publicly accused of racism? What followed was a case of online shaming by the Israeli public, which many people now say pushed him to take his own life. Ayman Sikseck has more on the case in which no one and everyone are guilty at the same time.
Two versions of a story about racism. One Facebook post, and then one fatal gunshot to the head. Ariel Ronis, an official at Israel Population, Immigration and Border Authority, took his own life as a result of what some are calling online bullying. So where did it all begin? On Wednesday, May 20th, an Israeli citizen of African-American origin complained online that she had been mistreated while at the Interior Ministry. She had come in to apply for a passport for one of her children, but said she was discriminated against because of the color of her skin. Her public complaint went viral within hours, but it was Ariel Ronis, the official whom she specifically named in her post, who received most of the exposure. Ronis was harshly condemned by the online community but had kept silent until Saturday, May 23rd. In a Facebook post of his own, Ronis said the public outcry had become unbearable.
My life's work has been dismissed with a single online post. She seems to have moved on from her ordeal. I'm unable to do the same. Goodbye.
Minutes later, he shot himself in the head. In response, the woman who complained against him immediately published another post.
I've experienced discrimination in Israel all my life. The one time I complained, another person was hurt. I am truly sorry.
The same internet forums that raged over the allegations of racism only a few days ago are now debating the price of online bullying. But one question seems to be somewhat avoided by everyone. Who was responsible for Ariel Ronis' death?
Yes, and right now with me, Ariel Barokes, a volunteer at the Red Button non-profit organization. Good evening. Thank you very much for coming.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
And also Ayman Sikseck, correspondent. Thank you very much for being with me here in the studio. Ayman, let's start with you. The details are, we are public figures, and as public figures, sometimes we are posting something on Facebook and it creates waves, and then people are just deciding to be God and judging you and putting you out there. And maybe this is the new, let's say, court these days?
Absolutely. A lot of people feel the same way. The new town square as in ancient times. And I think a lot of it has to do with the nature of social media. Social media is an impulsive space. People act on impulses. And when they saw her story, this woman who complained of racism, and it's clear that this is how she felt. She wasn't lying about this. This was her experience. They wanted to share her story and do justice. And I think one of the first things that we learn from this story is that in our impulse to try to do justice and share this woman's story, we can be blind to the complexities and we can be blindly unjust. The consequence, the tragic consequence, really just proves that sometimes in the effort to be self-righteous maybe, or to show the world how enlightened we are, we can bring about tragic consequences.
And this is amazing because if we're looking at this specific situation, if we will try to look at it when we were kids, for example, so it used to be like when the entire class is just deciding that they hate you and everyone stops talking with you and they hate you because someone said something. Now it's different. Now it's all the world. It's all the country. It's violent. It's actually hurting, and I don't want to say it's getting us back to our school days, but it is.
I totally agree, it is. And as you said, it's not only just the class this time, but it's the entire world. And sadly, everyone feels powerful behind a computer, and they don't think about the words they say, and they don't think about the likes that they like and what they share and what they comment and what they post. And they don't think twice. And I think that that's the problem of today's society. And with this example of Ariel Ronis, we can definitely see that people just shared without thinking, without knowing maybe the second side of the story. And that's that's maybe a message for the world to think twice.
What is your job exactly? What, to prevent or to complain or to stop this kind of bullying in this, on net?
Yes, I am a volunteer at the social startup The Red Button. It's basically a startup that provides a technological solution to the shaming phenomena by downloading a Red Button extension for free. You can basically screenshot, capture your screen and send it to us anonymously, and we take care of it. We work with a lot of social networks like Facebook, like YouTube, a lot of Israeli websites, and we analyze the content. If it's violent, we take action, and about 95% of the reports that we have received are violent and have been removed. That's most importantly.
You know, I'm trying to think what is bringing us as a society to this point. What is bringing us to as a society to not think about somebody else? Because no one, I believe that no one in this planet would like to be judged, because I don't want anyone to judge me if they don't know me. You don't know my story, you don't know what happened, you don't know who I am or what I did in my life, and you just decide to judge me. And some people, not everyone, are strong.
That's true. I think that has to do with the internet being such a space of illusion. You get the feeling like maybe you know this person, you know all about them because you're friends with them on Facebook, because you saw several posts that they shared. You don't. You don't know about their life, you don't know about their struggles. And I think with this specific story, what really struck a nerve with so many Israelis is that it touched on racism, and particularly racism against...
But with specifically this guy, and we're talking about a person that basically fought against racism. He did the conventions against racism, and he wrote a book about racism, and just no one is even thinking to just check facts and check history. Even, you know what, sometimes we journalists are not checking facts and checking history and just coming with our prejudice ideas. But I want to ask you, like, just years ago, before maybe Facebook, people used to hide behind the comments that we used to see online, like on a report or something. Today, they have no shame. No shame. With their faces, with the faces of their children, they're just sitting there and just spitting and just cursing and bullying everyone with no shame. And I'm asking, how come we as human beings lost the shame?
I think that the shame was always, we never lost the shame, because I think that today is the problem that it's on the web, but before the web existed, it was face-to-face. I think that people were never ashamed, because if someone was behind them, they always felt powerful. And today, they're just hiding behind a screen. So it's the same thing, but cyberbullying, as I said, and shaming, it's just because you're behind a screen, you feel so powerful, and you feel so powerful to shame the other person, because if no one is going to back you, then okay, then you just said it, and the person can't answer you because you're behind a screen. But if you're in live...
You know, I will share with you something, because for me, I had this a lot of times. As someone who's sitting on this chair, I get this a lot, some videos, viral videos that are going out. And sometimes I'm asking myself, because just even today, something was just post on one of the websites and is causing like really big rage in the Arab society. And for me, it's like I'm watching like all the comments and threats that I'm getting. And sometimes people, when they're posting this, they don't understand that it can get really serious. If a person is not strong enough, maybe he won't kill himself, but other people may get ideas and say, well, this person is a really bad person, we need to get rid of him. So they don't understand how hard the consequences can be.
And that's because we thrive on such little information. Very little is enough for us to make judgment and already represent ourselves in a certain way that we think is good online and mirror ourselves in a way that we think is positive. And with Ariel Ronis, I think really what happened there is that this man, this unlucky man, fell into this tornado that we have going on recently.
It's even lack of privacy. You don't have privacy anymore. You don't have, you know, your own life in control anymore the minute that you push the sign button on Facebook.
And it's interesting what you said about the media, because this woman actually was interviewed by one of the Israeli channels before he committed suicide, and it was a very sympathetic interview towards her. They didn't get a comment from Ariel Ronis, they got a very general comment from the Interior Ministry, and after he committed suicide, this interview was pulled from the internet. It's no longer there, you can't watch it anymore. It's kind of a very unsaintly cover-up.
Yeah, you know, sometimes I don't understand why we as journalists give a stage to things and we don't check them before, and to phenomena like racism. I don't understand this. Thank you very much for being with me
Thank you,
here in
Lucy.
the studio.